Late last week, we received the sad news that a dear friend and contributor to MoneyTV, Roger Schlesinger, had been placed in hospice care and that his remaining time with us is short. Known as the Mortgage Minute Guy, Roger appeared on MoneyTV more than any other guest. Roger's passion for the real estate industry is surpassed only by his passion for helping people achieve their home ownership dreams. Roger touched so many lives. We celebrate knowing him and are privileged to share with you now a retrospective of the wit and wisdom of Roger Schlesinger.
And I see you celebrating, your UCLA heritage with this Bruin tie.
Yeah.
You've been out of college now, what, 5 years?
5 or 10, I can't remember. But my class is being celebrated this weekend at Alumni Day at UCLA. We're having lunch at the Chancellor's Mansion.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. It's been a handful of decades. I don't want to say how long, but when I left, UCLA hadn't won a NCAA championship in basketball yet. Well, I see two things. Number one is that if we don't do something about the deficit spending in this country fairly quickly, we're not going to have a country to worry about after that, because it is really getting out of hand. Just recently, they announced that we took an extra $12 billion over the last couple of months from China, bringing our total up to $1.3 trillion. But that's not the bad part. The bad part to me is that we owe Brazil $250 billion. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
We owe the Caribbean countries money. In fact, instead of, where's Waldo, we have to get a new game. What country don't we owe?
Now, you've written a book. It's called 15 Years of Plenty. I'm assuming this is not a gardening book.
It is not a gardening book.
Tell us about 15 Years of Plenty.
Our Plenty. The 15 Years of Plenty is my philosophy that the difference between cheap and inexpensive is completely lost in the mortgage industry. People say, I like the 30-year fix because the payment is inexpensive. No, it's cheap. It is not inexpensive. And the reason for this is that a payment is made up of principal and interest. In a 30-year loan, principal is the greater part of the first payment. Interest is the greater part of the first payment. Principal is a very small part. How long do you think it takes on a monthly or yearly basis for just principal and interest to equal each other? Not for principal to be better than, but just equal.
On a 30-year mortgage?
Yeah.
I'll guesstimate 10 years.
14.
14 years.
14 years.
Wow.
You will be making payments at this, what you call inexpensive and I call cheap, mortgage, that you are making a minority payment every time.
You're paying rent.
You're paying rent, exactly. Patience is all you need. And if you are a W-2 employee, if you have good credit, if you have decent equity, and you have some reserves in the bank, and you don't have anything esoteric at all, those are the ones we can get right through. Well, reverse mortgages is one of the best things the government has ever done in any industry, let alone the mortgage industry. And the crazy thing about it is it's really here to help the people who aren't that wealthy. And who's taking advantage of it? The wealthy people.
Of course.
They are lowering their front end from 1 3/4 back to 0.1. Wow. To 0.1, so virtually nothing there, and their mortgage insurance is going back to 0.55. So we can then do a streamline. Now the thing about a streamline is there's no appraisal. Credit, we have to have a minimum of about 620, but most people have that. There's no income documentation, and there's no reserve requirements. All we do is simply get your case number, show them that your payment is going down, show them that you haven't missed a payment in the last year, and we can refinance you. And our rates are phenomenal. The 15 years in the bottom of the threes, the 30 years between the middle threes and high threes, and probably with no points on all of those.
Again, the Mortgage Minute Guy. Go to the website, mortgageminuteguy.com, and Roger at mortgageminuteguy.com. If you'd like to talk to Roger personally, he'll help you. He's done my mortgage. I wouldn't go anywhere else. Roger, thanks so much.
Thank you, Don.